Um, what are we looking at in terms of the help from the government, both state and federal? What kind of resources are they providing?
Well, there's an awful lot happening. So at the federal level, with the recent bailout package, they actually passed the investment tax credit, which is going to last for the next 8 years. So that's a huge advantage to solar companies because they can actually build a business model around an extended period of time where you can actually invest and try to make money in the marketplace. Previously, there was a 30% tax credit in place for commercial, also for residential, but it was capped at $2,000 at a residential level. So that's actually not a very big benefit. This new bill is uncapped the 30%. And also, it's not affected by AMT. So most people that buy solar systems are making a decent amount of money, and they were subject to AMT, and they couldn't take that tax credit against their AMT. With the new bill, you can actually take the full 30% even if you're in the AMT area. So if somebody buys a $40,000 solar system, they can take a $12,000 tax credit the next year. At the state level, California, Connecticut, New York, Arizona, Oregon, Maryland, Delaware, Massachusetts, a number of states have what they call rebate programs in place. In California, it was started last year. It's called the California Solar Initiative. It was SB1 was the bill. Barry Cinnamon, our founder, actually helped to write the bill. He wrote some white papers that became the instrument that they based the bill off of. And those rebates have started at about $2.50 per watt. They're down to about $1.90 right now, heading towards $1.55. But the way it was designed is Barry thought and the government thought that solar prices would come down, the efficiencies would come up, energy costs would keep coming up, so there was a convergence. And it's pretty much on plan.
A tiered system.
Tiered system, absolutely.
What are the other states doing, and what is the rest of the country and internationally? I know that California is doing a lot in the solar industry, but how do we compare with some of the other regions of the country and the world?
Well, we're very fortunate in California. Governor Schwarzenegger has been very progressive. The state legislature has been progressive, and we think that we probably have the most solidified solar program in the country right now. Other states are following suit. They're putting what's called an RPS, which is a renewable portfolio standard, which states that we should get, say 10% of our energy from renewable sources by a certain date. Most states in the country are looking at that right now. Most are following suit with a rebate program like we have, although there's some creative things happening like in New Jersey where they have a renewable energy credit program, an REC program, where if you produce energy, you can sell your RECs in the open market to the utilities or other people who are polluting more to help them meet their standards. Things that happen in Europe, there's a feed-in tariff in Germany, and that's a very creative situation where you can actually put a large solar system on your home or in your backyard and produce more than you actually use and sell that energy back to the utility. We have net metering in the United States and in California, but you can never get your bill below zero for a year. You might overproduce, but the best you can do is a zero bill. In Germany, you can actually make money on your solar system.
So PG&E will never pay you for the extra?
There is a small, you have the ability to get a small feed-in tariff in California, but it doesn't make sense. It's actually better to take the rebates and do it that way. But a feed-in tariff is being considered in many states. It's much simpler to implement, and it's less costly to implement the program, and it's being looked at in California as well as other states. There's also talk at the federal level to monetize carbon, where you would actually, if you produce carbon, you'd have to be paying to produce it, and you might have a cap and trade system, similar to what we did with ozone, 20 years ago, that actually helped to get the ozone levels down. There's a lot of talk about that at the federal level to put a cap and trade system in place.
If I decided that I wanted to go solar, it was right for me, or if it was right for my business, what are some of the options I have in terms of paying for it? Is it something where I just have to take out a loan on my house, or are there other options that are available to me?
Well, great question. So there's a number of ways of doing it. You can pay cash. If you have home equity in your home, you can actually use a home equity line of credit, which a lot of people do. With the declining levels of home value, that's kind of gone by the wayside. There are also lease programs through banks. Some of the solar companies have put in their own lease programs. And there's also something called a residential PPA, or power purchase agreement. We work with a company called Sunrun, very good partner of ours. And what they do is they actually purchase the system from Akeena Solar. They put it on your home, and they sell power to you. So you don't actually have to purchase the system. You just pay for what you use as you go along. And then over time, if you decide to buy it, you can buy it from them at a very good rate.
How does that differ from a lease?
A lease is similar in that you do not own it until you pay it off, but a lease you're paying just a simple monthly payment, usually with an escalator. On the power purchase agreement, you have a fixed rate of the electricity you're purchasing, but you're actually purchasing kilowatt hours from Sunrun, who has their system on your roof.
And how about for big companies? Are we looking? How do the PPAs work for the larger companies?
Well, they work really well for large companies. Most of the larger deals we do are with PPAs. It's especially helpful for a municipality or a university or a police station or any kind of building that doesn't pay taxes, because you can't take advantage of the tax credit. Whereas the PPA, what they do is they raise tax equity on the open market. They purchase this system from us. They give those tax credits and the depreciation to the investor, and they were actually able to pay that, pass some of that 30% on to you in your rates. So you'd be locking in at a rate of, say, 15 to 16 cents per kilowatt hour with a slight escalator going on. But they would take care of the system, they would own the system, you wouldn't have to maintain it. It's a very, actually, attractive model.